Hi, I'm Mike Deming, your host of Sportsman's News Television. For this episode, we're in the vast expansions in northwestern Colorado, hunting with Papierski's big game hunts with a couple of great friends and their sons. Father and son antelope hunt in a unit that would normally take 12, 13 points for a non-resident to draw. This is on a Ranching for Wildlife program where you're able to buy a tag every year on a hunt that won't break the bank. Wait till you see all the good bucks we see and watch these exciting young kids and their dads take their first antelope ever. As with most opening morning, everybody was up well before the sun. Them young boys were chomping at the bit to get their first crack at an antelope. I think dads had a little bit of an excitement too. But after a great breakfast, we got everybody loaded up, and it was a matter of driving around, covering a lot of the roads, a lot of the ranch roads, looking at a lot of bucks. As we said before, this unit takes between 13 and 15 points as a non-resident to draw. You can see why. I mean, you've got to look over a lot of bucks. Antelope are hard to judge, though you really want to make sure that you're getting a real quality trophy. And we looked at a lot of bucks before we were able to find one that was something we really wanted to go after. It was almost lunchtime before John climbed up on an old combine, and he looked back and saw a great buck by an old cabin. And Cole was first up for the shooter. It didn't take us long to start beating feet and getting our way over there to get a shot at that buck. We closed the gap to about 350 yards across the canyon there, got set up for the shot. A little bit of wind going there, and just a bit of a tough shot. Tough luck there, Cole. That was a good buck, but you know what? There's lots of bucks in northwestern Colorado. It won't take us long to get on another one, I'm sure. With Cole missing before lunch, we decided that it was going to be Clark's turn to be the next shooter up. We pulled out of the ranch house after lunch, and I'll be darned if John doesn't spot a big shooter buck about 800 yards away from the lodge. We decided it's time to go after it and make something happen. We were able to close that gap pretty good and get on that buck to about 170 yards, but he knew we were there when we topped the hill, and the wind was absolutely howling at about a 30-mile-an-hour crosswind. That buck saw us and he blew out of there, but Clark kept his composure with that wind, and when that buck stops again, he absolutely hammers it. At 320 yards with a serious crosswind, that's a tough shot for just about any hunter, but for a young man like Clark to make that shot in that wind, did him in a little far back, that buck was dead in seconds. Great shooting, Clark, fantastic buck, and after that, it was time for Cole to be back on the trigger again. After hanging Clark's buck up in the barn and heading back out, we come across this bachelor herd of bucks, and there's a couple of absolute studs in here. Nothing that 80-inch mark, but a couple of really good shooters, and Cole really wanted to redeem himself after that morning miss. Miles grabbed Cole and his father Doug, went around the opposite side of the mountain, made the wind in our favor. We snuck up over the top, so we were looking right down on top of these bucks.
Miles had got us right in on top of these animals. We're looking down, we're within bow range of every one of these bucks. One of them finally saw us and they started to break and head down the canyon. We got Cole up, got him set up for a shot, and then it was picking the right buck. Miles picked out the right buck and Cole absolutely pulled it off. Hey, great shooting, Cole. Way to redeem yourself. The first shot was a little far back. Not even the leg. It's tough when they're trying to jump the fence and trying to make a last-minute decision, but you sure backed it up with a great second shot. Fantastic buck.
Go up just down from that. Sure. Because I think if we go up right here, we're gonna have the problem I just had where we're trying to see over the edge.
While we staged Cole's buck for photos on top of this ridge, I started spending time looking down the canyon, and I found an absolute giant of a buck, and it didn't take too long to figure out this was a buck we for sure wanted. We thought he was close to 16 inches. As you can see, this is just a fantastic buck. He's got a lot of length, got good mass, good cutters. We do have a little bit of a debacle though, because Doug doesn't have his own gun. When we did the stalk on Cole's buck, he did not take his gun. So when we decided this is a buck we're going to go get, he had to grab Cole's gun. It's a gun he's not used to, doesn't shoot. Plus we've got about a 30-mile-an-hour wind still here. Pretty common in northwestern Colorado. Cameraman being about 20 yards farther to the right than the shooters made it look like a pretty close call on that doe. But it did wake her up a little bit and come running back up the hill to provide a little bit closer shot for our third shot.
Nice shot.
Even with somebody else's gun, a strong crosswind, a downhill shot, Doug, you prevailed with a great buck. This buck just missed the 80-inch mark. Great shooting and a great buck. With 3 tags filled in one afternoon, all in the mid to high 70-inch range, you know, we knew Randy had his work cut out for him, and it didn't take long for us to find a couple of really good bucks. As we made the stock on these 5-bedded bucks, we come across an absolute phenomenal bachelor herd of big mule deer. I mean, there's one buck in the 190 range, couple in the 180s, and all in the velvet. Just an impressive sight to see. With these mule deer moving around the hill, we had hoped they didn't spook the 5 bucks that we were looking to get in on, and we had to get Randy's composure back. All he was focused on was mule deer at this point in time. John took off back down the hill, and we were right behind him to get up close and personal with those other antelope. As we got in close in the tall grass, there was one buck already up feeding, and we knew he was part of the other group. Didn't take long for that other buck to stand up, and we just needed to wait for a good broadside shot. It took several minutes for this buck to clear and come up where we get a good shot, make sure he was the buck we wanted. He's got great cutters, he's got good mass, good curves on his horns, just a great antelope.
Dude, look at those cutters on it.
Hey, great buck, Randy, and good shooting. 170 yards right through the Boilermaker. Doesn't beat Doug's buck, but it's still a great buck and a good hunt.
Well, that was no question. That was just a fantastic hunt. We got 4 great bucks killed in 2 days. You know, the fathers and sons had just a great time together. Everybody killed their first antelope, and you know what's best? We left a lot of them out there for you. So next time you're looking for a premium trophy antelope hunt, give John Papierski a call. He's got some real great mule deer, as I've seen on some of the tape, and he's got a great opportunity to come to northwestern Colorado and break in your hand at some elk hunting as well. So next time you're looking for a great hunt, give John a call.
Hi, I'm John Papierski with Papierski's Big Game Hunts here in Craig, Colorado. We're on a Ranching for Wildlife program here, and we're hunting about 22,000 acres of private land. I have antelope, mule deer, and elk hunts available. We start around August 15th every year for our antelope. What's really nice about the program I'm on, you don't have to put in for any drawings or lottery systems. If you book a hunt with me, you're guaranteed a tag, so you don't have to wait umpteen years to go hunting here. The trophy unit I'm in for my antelope, people are taking 13 to 15 new preference points to draw, so it's a very, very well managed unit. On a normal day of antelope hunting, you're going to see 20 to 40 bucks. Average bucks we're killing are 75 to 80 inchers, but it's